Hi folks, my name's Dal. Now, as you can see from the previous few pictures I've shown you, a couple of stills I've put on first to give you a little bit of an appetite, if you like. This is my setup. It's simple, really. Ignore this. This is my DIY contraption to put a guide scope on, should I ever need one, which I've never got around to yet. Right, it's simple. This is the Skywatcher SW80 apochromatic. It's a doublet, and I've got it cheap second hand. Had it sent out here to Thailand from the UK. Anyway, that's by the by. So this, you know, if you've got a 4-inch, this is a 3-inch or 80mm. If you've got a 4-inch or a 6-inch even, bigger the better, as they say. You're going to get better shots, and if you're going to go into a reflector telescope where you can get massive diameter, you're going to improve your shots beyond all doubt. But this is not about what you can do. This is what we can do with a simple setup like this and get reasonable results. Right, as I mentioned, there's the scope. This is a red dot finder. I prefer that to the finder scope, which is this one, which comes with this telescope. Now this is the Crayford focuser, which also comes with the scope. It's a dual focuser, and you can see this contraption here. This is my fine tuning method, Delboy's fine tuner with a toothpick. It works very well. It stops all that. If you're using your hand on it like that, the thing's vibrating, shaking all the time, and it does take a second or two to quieten down. And if you're trying to focus, to get that spot on focus, you twiddling around with this, it's a bit difficult sometimes. If you do it like this with the elastic bands, it decreases the shock, so that it's not vibrating everywhere. Right, hope you've got that. This is a 3-inch, I think it's a 3-inch extension tube, which I had to put in to get back focus, otherwise you can't focus properly. And this here is an adapter from, that's 2-inch diameter. This is an adapter to 1.25 inch, which is what this Barlow lens is. This is a 3x magnification Barlow lens, and that goes into the T-piece, and that's the adapter there into the camera. In this case, well, in the other case with me, is the Panasonic Lumix GX8 micro four thirds camera, and you can get the photographs I've shown you prior to this easily, but just with this setup and this camera. You know, don't knock the 2/3 system. I mean, if you've got full frame or APS, yes, you will get, or you should get, better photographs. At the end of the day, you should do. That's up to you. I mean, I've never tried it, so I don't know, but I'm told reliably by the full frame guys that full frame is best, so I'll leave that up to you. But the idea of this is shoot with what you have. It's that simple. There's a couple of things. I'll come round here. Right, now the other equipment we need, main equipment, we need a sturdy tripod, which I have here. I bought this over here in Thailand. It's Chinese made. Don't knock the Chinese, they make some great stuff and some crap, like every country does. And this is a pan and tilt video head. Again, that is quite substantial. I've adapted the plate, and I've attached this onto the video head with a bolt here. It's a bit of DIY, but I mean, you can buy the gear. I just didn't have it available, and to get stuff here in Thailand is a problem, you know, and it's ever so expensive. Now, on the bracing of the tripod, you will see here I've suspended a weight. Now that's 4 kilos. You don't need a weight like that. You can use anything really. Bag of sand, you know, anything really, a couple of kilos in weight. And that is to stabilise everything. I mean, that is solid. And in addition, this tripod has rubber pads which can clip on and clip off quite easily, and if you take them off, there's spikes, so you can put the the base of the tripod into sort of soil or sand or whatever and make it solid. So, oh, a bit dusty there. Must clean that. Now, if you're using a finder scope, it's a good idea to select a subject far away, like this pylon, for example. Probably half a kilometre, I would guess, say something like that. Get it into focus nice and sharply. I'm not going to bother too much with this at the moment because it's only a demonstration. And that will give you a good focus point somewhere on there, on that pylon. You can focus in with your telescope and then align that with your finder scope. Very easy. Using a red dot finder, you will need to focus on something a little nearer, like this lintel, for example, which is about, I don't know, 300 metres, 250 metres away. And the red dot shows clearly on this, and that's how I would align my scope. And it's perfect, it's spot on. I can get, for example, Jupiter. I can hit Jupiter and get the red spot in the centre, and it's usually pretty well there. Sometimes you just got to give it a little tweak, but it's usually pretty good. So that's aligning your scope with your finder. Now we go on to the next phase. Right guys, well, you don't have to do this, but I find it's a good idea because I like to keep the subject, whatever it is, the moon or the planets, coming across the frame like so. If you keep your camera in a fixed position, at one point you'll come down vertically, what appears to be vertically on your camera, and you'll get a shorter time taking your video. So what I do is I follow the ecliptic, which is the path that the sun and the moon and most of the planets follow around our skies, or how they appear across our skies. So, for example, if my subject is just rising, I have my camera so, and then I slowly turn it like so, so when it's directly overhead the camera is horizontal, and as the subject is setting, or like so, I turn it like so. So I should get my subject going right across the frame. Well, there's another little trick I do actually which may help you. I find it imperative in actual fact. What I do, in my custom mode on my camera, I set up the camera so that it's massively overexposed, the ISO is high, and it's really exaggerated. Everything's exaggerated. And then when you're focusing or trying to focus on your subject, it's bright, it's horrible, it's ugly, but you can see it, it hits you. Especially the moon's simple because you can do it, you don't need to do it for the moon. But for the planets you do it depending on what time of the year it is, you know, if they're sort of directly above, in opposition, blah blah blah. And it really does work, it's a good idea. And then you can flick a switch and put it onto manual, adjust everything to get exactly how you want it, how it looks good, blah blah blah. And then flick the switch again and put it into video mode, not automatic video, you put it on your manual video mode, and then you can do your recording. But you must remember your video mode is cropped, so it increases the magnification a little bit. All things to bear in mind, but you know, play with it, you'll get the hang of it. Now, to take moon shots, I usually shoot between 3/4 moon to just past half moon, and that way you get the shadows casting across the lunar surface and you get really good definition. That's the best bet. Now if you're going to shoot full moon, you will probably need a 1.5, but I think a 1.8 Barlow lens would be better. I'm not quite sure about that because I've never done it. I've shot the full moon just with my long lens on the camera. Now if you've got the planets in opposition, for example, or pretty well near, you know, a month or two either side. Jupiter, for example, I would probably shoot at about 200 to 350. I was going to say ASA, ISO, it's the same thing really. ISO, usually at anything between 1/50th of a second up to about 1/100th of a second. If you're lucky enough to have a half moon or crescent moon out, you can focus on that first and then swing over to your intended target. You know, I get away with it quite often, and especially here where there's loads of light pollution and air pollution. I mean, Bangkok's only about 70 kilometres away, and we've got the local city lights and all the street lights here, so you know, it works okay, that's no problem. Incidentally, I always shoot 4K video. HD's okay, if that's all you have, that's fine, but I find that 4K is much better. You get more definition, more clarity, blah blah blah. But you've done the easy bit, now comes the hard bit. So you will need to download the following programs. PIPP, which I think is Planetary Image Processing. It's free, and you have to download AutoStackert, which is free, and what's the other one? Registax. You need to download Registax. They're all free programs, and I believe they are only on Windows. I don't think they download to Mac. I'm not sure. Things may have been updated by now. I haven't really checked because I'm not a Mac man. And at a later date, I don't know when, I'll run through all the process of post-processing to get the final image. Now this video is pretty crappy, I know it is, but I've bitted it together, if you like, for those who are just starting out. Now, if there's any questions, any queries, any criticism, preferably constructive criticism, I'd love to hear from you. Well, thank you a lot for watching this video. If it's of any interest to you, perhaps you'd like to visit my YouTube channel and maybe leave a comment, a like, or a subscription. Anyway, there are many more videos on my channel, so perhaps I may have used you. Thanks for watching. Bye.